Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? So, as you can see on the screen up here, I have 6 shiny red stars on my Omega Red. Why am I showing you my Omega Red with those red stars? Because I want to brag about it. And you would too if you got 6 red stars. I mean, come on, that's awesome. You show anybody and everybody who will watch that. Actually, it's because there's some new information out there, I believe coming from McMole, and Mobile Gamer has talked about it too. If you have too many red stars on your Omega Red, you might be in trouble. You might be in trouble going into Heroes for Hire because Misty Knight will attack Omega Red if he has the highest health, put the ability block on him, and it makes the team really challenging to beat that way. So we're going to have to look into that. We're going to do some research about it later today on stream. If you guys want to find me on stream, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to noon on the Pacific Coast. You can come hang out with us. We do a lot of stuff live. I don't know if I'm going to make a video of that or not, but we'll see. Also, I want to talk a little bit about how you should be going about your red stars. Now, there's 2 different camps with this. You can take and open your red stars when there is no boosted drop rate on a character. That is, there's no character with the extra 15% drop rate in the red stars. And you get bonus dark promotion credits for Ultron or Ultimus. Probably soon it will be Doom once he gets a little power crept. And then on down the road will be Dormammu. Or you can open during the boosted drop rate. Now, let's say that you have about 20 basic red stars. You can count on 1 to 2 4 red star drops. And that's about it. That's probably a really good set of pulls out of the red stars. So if you want a character, and we'll get more into target farming in a minute, if you want your character to be no higher than 4 red stars, if that's just like as high as you want to go right now because you don't think you're going to unlock that character any higher for a long time or whatever, or you just don't think it's important to have the red stars, you want to save them, then I think you should be going through your basic red stars and opening them, hoping you get that 4 red drop on that character. Of course, you could pull a 7 red, but that's like winning the lottery. It almost never happens. I think I pulled 1 7 red star from a basic in all the time I've been playing Marvel Strike Force. It was for Captain America. So I think that's, if you're target farming for low red stars, you should be opening the basics during the boosted drop rate. If you are looking for a character and you want to get really high red stars, unless you need those duplicates to build up your collection of 4s, 5s, 6s, then you should be opening just the elite 4s, 5s, 6s, whatever you're target farming that character for. Maybe skip the 4s even if you're going for a 5-star. And then save those basics for the dark promotion tokens so you can put your red stars on Ultron or Ultimus. I mean, Ultimus does work pretty well on that Merc defense. I personally open my basics every single time there's a boosted drop rate. I don't use Ultron all that much, and I don't use Ultimus at all. So I think I have 1 red star on Ultron. But yeah. Anyway, now when you look at characters, you need to go over their kits, you need to go over their stats, and you need to understand how they fit into their team, or you can just go find some content creators that'll tell you all this information, and decide where you should target that character. Every character has to have 3 red stars or more, or they're just not functional in the game. Most characters need to be 4 red stars or more. A lot of characters need 5 red stars. And then if you have a very character that's near and dear to your heart, like my boy Omega Red here, you may want to go for 6 red stars like I did and then found out that this might be a mistake. But we'll see. Anyway, target your character. Choose accordingly. Don't ever open your red stars outside of the boosted drop rate unless you're opening basics during a character that you don't need high red star. Like if you know the next character doesn't need high red stars, you can open your basics up to maybe boost your Ultron or something if that's your game plan. Just think strategically. Okay, so there's enough about that. Let's get over to Defense Up. It's what you guys came here for. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. And we are going over CDT0's defense. Starting off on team number 1 is a PymTech team. It looks like he may have over-invested in Ant-Man, but I'm finding out in the Gamma Raid Lane 1 that I might need to over-invest in my Ant-Man or something. Probably Yellow Jacket is the way you should go if you're going to over-invest in the other members. Ghost has some value in some Dark Dimension. I'm not a big fan of Ghost anymore. I brought mine all the way up, and I mean, she did some things for me in Dark Dimension. I guess I'm just not excited for the character, and she's kind of going downhill a little bit now. But if you're in Gamma Lane 1, you know, you got to build this. You got to build some Kree members. That's Phi Lavelle, maybe Captain Marvel, and you got to build maybe some Wakandans. Like Shuri is becoming a pretty popular choice again. She rebounds all the time, and maybe Killmonger just for his tags. But here we go with this one. I like these two to the outside. I think we should swap places with Ghost and Yellow Jacket, because then Ghost and Wasp will be right in between. They're dodgy. It'll stop those chain attacks from your two tanks that are taunting as these two. You got Skirmisher, Striker. That's correct. Raider. This is great. You could go Fortifier to make her a little tougher. She's not really stopping anything with these power levels. It's pretty wonky anyway. I kind of think don't bother messing with this team. Look at the characters that you want to build for those raids and other stuff like that and see if you want to invest more. Otherwise, I think you're doing just fine. Swap that placement. I think you'll be doing really good. You could make them war ready. That would definitely help for those bonuses. You do have a decent enough investment. So, I mean, at least get one more on Ant-Man. I mean, the rest of these are sacrificial lambs at that power level, but at least get your Ant-Man war ready and swap places here. I'm going to give you a B for this. It's fine. There's nothing you really need to work on any more than that. Okay, here is the Fantastic Four, and I need to adjust my camera again. I got myself all screwed up over here. So we got him war ready, except for Johnny. Go ahead and get him war ready. He needs the stat boost because he's kind of squishy and he does some good damage on this team. I like to see She-Hulk in the middle or one of these middle slots, preferably right here. Basically, so when she's taunting, if there's a team that comes in with negative effects and they have like adjacent negative effects, then it's hitting a lot of people. And the more negative effects that hit this team, the more charges she gets and the faster she throws them back. Let's see here. 2 strikers, 1 skirmisher, 1 healer. So you either need to, change her to a skirmisher, I think is probably going to be the way to go. You want 2 skirmishers, 2 strikers. You got to have as many skirmishers as you do strikers, or you have to have a raider that has good crit chance, like crit built into their kit. These guys don't have any crit things. So it's striker up here on the top. It's skirmisher. This should be skirmisher. You can keep her as a healer if you want. At this power level, this team ain't really stopping anything. I don't think it's great to invest in. You really got to build up your She-Hulk to make this team be an effective defense. Honestly, at this power level, you might consider putting Namor back in and using him on offense if you find yourself short of offensive teams. Otherwise, really, your biggest move is change placement, make this guy war ready, and then that would be an A-. If you swapped her over to a skirmisher, you'd have the A. As is, I'm going to give you a B. It's just kind of meh. Wave 1 with Captain Marvel. Everybody's putting Captain Marvel in here these days because they're using Black Widow elsewhere on that Skilletary build. Skilletary's coming up on defense a lot these days. That's okay. I don't find them that challenging to get through. I think there's a lot of teams that get through them. You just don't bother trying to blind them. That doesn't work. I think you got proper placement. I think you've got the correct ISOs. I think you're doing everything fine. You could put a little more power into Captain Marvel. That's going to help you if you're in that lane 1 on that Gamma lane. Then you're going to need her built up. But if you're not there, then maybe leave it where it's at. Not really worth going into. I mean, she's good, but she's just power crept is a problem. She was a kit or a stat-based character, not kit-based, and she just doesn't hit like she used to. Make her war ready though. Get them war ready. That's an A- for that team. Team number 4 is Doc Ock with the Sinister Six. Now, I like what you're doing here. You're putting her in here to cleanse so that those teams that put in like ability block or a stun or something like that, or the blinds, it's getting cleansed by Squirrel Girl. You're trying, but it's not going to work. People just come in here with like X Factor and blow it up. I think you need to take Doc Ock off of here, take Squirrel Girl off of here, run the OG Sinister Six as just a filler team. Don't worry about getting their ISOs up or anything. Don't waste any resources. Just fill that slot. You can use these 2 characters elsewhere for hybrids. You will probably have to invest some more into Squirrel Girl, unfortunately. I do not like that character, but she does have that early cleanse. It just times out so well against so many other teams. It's a great cleanse to have available for different builds. And we're probably going to see some teams coming up in your lineup where she could be used. So get these two out of here. Fill in a junk team. I don't care who. Keep Rhino on the bench in case you want to sub him in for like that Rhino Dad Bros team going after those Doom hybrids. So just don't use Rhino. Use the other OG Sinister Six teams. As is, this is kind of a waste of some characters, especially that Doc Ock, because he's just going to die no matter what. He's not doing anything for this team anymore. So I'm going to say, let's see. This is kind of a C, almost a C minus, really. You've got decent ISOs on these guys, actually. I like Striker on her, but that's fine. Raider works also. Yeah, I'm going to give you a C for that. Let's get some better people in there and save those other tunes. Team number 5 is kind of a Marauder Brotherhood mashup. Let's see, we got Strife's got Fortifier, Blob's got Striker. Blob needs to be a skirmisher. A skirmisher or a raider. Striker's no good. Plus, he's not built up powerful enough. You're not capitalizing on the damage that he does. Change him to a skirmisher. It will be worth your investment to change it to it now. Mystique, who cares? She's probably just gonna go on the bench. You can use her as a filler for this team. Eventually you'll get Doom in here. Doom slots in on this team very well and does some interesting things. You could put some more power into Magneto. Raider is okay. A lot of people do him as a striker. No, I'm sorry. Raider's the right one. Yeah, Striker's not very good on him. He doesn't do a ton of damage. You can also make him a skirmisher to make sure the blinds stick. But honestly, if you just put the gear and the T4s in him and naturally build him up, his kit gives him the focused boost that he needs to do the stuff you want him to do. He's got a lot of synergy with this team. It's not bad. The team just needs, basically, you got to change this one ISO, and then you got to build the rest of them up. I wouldn't build Mystique. I'd just leave her there as a placeholder until you put Doom in on this team. It's not terrible. You're going in the right direction. The only mistake you really made is this ISO right here. So I'm going to give you a B- on that. Change that ISO, and I can give you an A-. Fill in the rest of these guys' power levels and stuff. Get them up to snuff, and then you'll have an A for the team. This is just a placeholder right now. I'm not even dock you for. I mean, you got the right ISOs on her, and she's war ready and stuff. You just don't want to put any more investment in her because she's not going to be there for much longer. Team number 6 is the Symbiotes. I prefer Symbiotes on offense because there's so many things that can destroy them, and there's so many things that they can destroy. It's not a super powerful one, so your opponents are going to have lots of choices on what they can bring in to destroy this team. They might just mirror match it. They could come in with something that's going to blind them early, hit them fast before they can get going. So I do like them on offense. There's just so many neat things that they can destroy. You've got them war ready. At this power level, you could bring them up to like 700k and use them in 1.0 and Doom 2. They'll be effective. We don't know what we're going to be getting for the bio lanes. There's talk of those Eternals. We don't know for sure if they're Eternals. We don't know for sure if they're going to be bio. We don't know if they're even going to be a raid team. We don't know. And we do know that the symbiotes work just fine in Doom 2. So I'd say feel free to bring these guys up to 200 if you want. Get that blue ISO on them. Let's see. We got Striker, Raiders on these two, and Skirmisher on that one. That works for me. I'm okay with that. Scream has a lot of different variants that she can do. She can be Striker, she can be Skirmisher, she can be a Raider. So whatever you're comfortable doing. But you're doing good with this. So you've also got the placement just right. I like that. This placement is perfect. So I'm going to give you an A. I'd just like to see you take this and put them on offense. Team number 7 is the Mercs. Perfect. Just right. I love this build. You have a big bullseye. If you're somebody else watching this and you don't have bullseye built up, don't build him for this team. He's not worth taking up. He has no value off of this team. None whatsoever, other than maybe that mercenary thing coming around once in a while. The payday. However, on this team, he's one of the best choices because he attacks when these guys do their non-attack abilities, and you can put him as a striker or a skirmisher. I like him as a striker because Taskmaster as a skirmisher usually leaves a vulnerable on the field somewhere, and there's a good chance that he's going to go into that on the assist. I don't know if that triggers his bonus attack. I think he assists into it, so I don't think it triggers his bonus attack. Either way, I like him as a striker. This is, 3 mercenary strikers to trigger his ISO bonus attack, so he's making them all double tap. They're doing good damage. Bullseye is really fast. He's an absolute trash tune, but he's fast, and on this team, he does a lot of damage. He takes a lot of extra turns because of these two. Otherwise, if you don't have him built up, go with like Korath or... who's another good mercenary? Yeah, just Korath. Just put in Korath over here on the other side. And then in place of Shuri, if you want to build this team higher, in place of Shuri, you're going to end up having to go Ultimus. But Shuri's good right now. And you can build Shuri up a lot more. People are using him in those tech lanes in Doom 2 and stuff. It's kind of weird that she's coming back into favor. She's more of a sacrificial lamb there, but she helps. So I like the team, I like the placement, I like the ISOs. I'm going to give you an A for that one. Hey, let's get some music playing now that my headphones just died. Hold on a second here. Top-notch video making right here. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the A for that one. All right. Ooh, look at this. This is an interesting defense. I saw this earlier when I was taking a look at it. The only thing I don't like with this is that he... is from that supernatural team that you could be using on offense. And that supernatural team doesn't work without him. I mean, I guess it could work, but it's tricky because he's the damage dealer and he's fast. So here's what I suggest. Put Loki in his place on this team for defense. I love that you've got Drax over here. I love that you've got him as a fortifier because his sole purpose is to spawn in with that taunt. That's it, right? It forces your team to not be able to go first. He's going to pop off, especially with Loki speeding him up. He's going to pop off first, and he's going to put blind all over the field, and then they can't do shit. And then she's spreading some blind. She's spreading the defense down, hopefully, with Loki, and then she's doing dagger things, mostly damage and stuff. It's a fantastic build. I really think you should put Loki in here. I think that's going to be an amazing defense. Also, if you want to run this team on offense, you can put Loki in here, and your pick of a 5th, run him on offense. Do Silver Surfer in there. That crushes people in war offense. Mobile Gamer uses that offense. He does Loki and Silver Surfer. It's a great one. But I would like you to reserve him for the Supernatural team. Some people have stated in the comments that they don't think that new players should be building Supernatural. I think new players can build Supernatural. Maybe not should build, but definitely can build. It still covers a wide variety of teams. There is not a day that goes by that I don't see Wave 1 Avengers of some sort on defense. And Supernatural is their best counter. That Hella Natural works amazing on it. So I think you should always have one of those in your pocket. You don't have to build them to the moon, just make sure they're functional. Okay, I love this team though. I'm going to give you an A. I'm going to give you a B for this. Switch that to Loki, and you will have an A+ team. If you have that for Loki. Because you got Striker, Skirmisher. This is great. And then Loki as a Skirmisher. Yeah, that would be an A+, because this would be a cutting-edge defense. And then you could easily switch it over to offense. Great job on this, though. I just think he ain't doing much for you. All right, team number 9. Silver Surfer with Black Bolt and Emma in place of Crystal. Striker, Skirmisher, you've got him as a striker. That's okay. It's just you have one Skirmisher putting one vulnerable a turn on the field. And you have all these big strikers. He's like half the power level that these guys are. I think you should switch him over to a Raider to get more vulnerables on the field for these two to pop off on. And then, or you could switch Emma to a Skirmisher, but I don't like that. I like her as a healer. I think in most builds, she should be a healer. So it's fine to have Emma on here because you had, what was the other team? Here's where Emma normally goes, right? So you could put Emma here, and you could go back to this team and put Crystal in here, the traditional build for this. Do we have a name for this? Chat, let me know if we have a name for this team. and you could put Crystal in here and send her back over to that other team in place of Emma until you get Doom, and then bring her back over. Those are just some options, but I definitely think you should change him to a Raider for this team. Yes, he has Turn Me to Rewind on his basic, but he's not going to be using it very much because he's going to go something like Special, Ultimate, and then get to his basic, and by that time, he's already going to be dead. So, and he's not going to hit any vulnerables because these guys are going to be soaking up anything she puts out there. I mean, it's just, odds are you're not getting much value other than that increase in damage for him. And these guys are your heavy hitters. They're the ones you want increase in damage. They're the ones you want double tapping. The Turn Me to Rewind doesn't matter too much because half this team is lightning fast. And then she's slowing down your opponents anyways. So you don't need that Turn Me to Rewind for them. Okay. Chat saying, why should they come up with a name for this? I wouldn't read it. I'm reading chat. I'm reading it. I saw that. That's my wife's smartass remark right there. Okay. Let's see. I don't like this song. It's got some negative words for YouTube. We're not going to be playing. Okay. Team number 10. Last. Did I give this a grade? Okay. I like your placement. The power levels are okay. You should bring these two up. They're worth it. I mean, they're not top players or anything. Get them up to like 90K each. It wouldn't kill you to, as you bring these guys up into the blue ISO, bring her up into the blue ISO. And then I'd like to see you change that. I'm going to give you a B for this team. I think it's got a little bit of work to do, but you're on the right track. You obviously know what you're doing with these defenses, and that's good. Okay. It's a fantastic build right here. The only thing, you need to swap places with Iron Man and Misty Knight. And you need to change him to a Fortifier. Healer isn't doing nothing. He's too slow. Get him as a Fortifier. He dies or revives, dies or revives. At least he'll have that extra like 45,000 hit points to go through or something. I think that's like a third of Gamora's basic at this point in time. But whatever, it helps. Otherwise, it's really good. So I'll give you a B for that team. The placement swap and the ISO change. Otherwise, you're doing great. Okay. This has been CDT Zero's defensive lineup. If you like what you saw, hit the like, subscribe, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. Helps the channel get that algorithm stuff. I don't know. Smart people know how that works better than I do. They tell me likes and subscribes really help. Whatever. Anyway, we're actually running a little bit low on the list. So if you want to get your defense done, it can happen real soon. Be sure to get a hold of me on Discord. The link's in the description. You just go to my Discord, contact me any which way you want. You can at me in general, or you can DM me. My door is open. So let me know, send me some screenshots. I'll get you on the list, and you can be on Defense Up also. In the meantime, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and each other too. I'll catch you next time. Bye.